There are seasons in life when you pray and nothing seems to happen. You speak to God with all the sincerity in your heart, but it feels like your words fall into a quiet sky. You look for signs. You look for anything that might tell you that God is listening, and yet, the only thing you feel is silence. Not rejection, not punishment, just silence. A silence that sometimes feels heavier than pain, because pain tells you something happened. Silence tells you nothing at all. And that nothingness can make your heart ache in a way you cannot explain to anyone. If your heart is quietly saying right now, "Yes, I know this silence," then whisper amen and subscribe, not for the channel, but as your way of telling God, "I haven't stopped seeking you. I haven't stopped waiting. I still believe you are near, even when I cannot hear you." There were moments when you cried silently, not with loud sobs, but with tears that slipped out because your heart didn't know where to put the weight anymore. You didn't tell anyone because the grief wasn't the kind people understand. It wasn't about a breakup. It wasn't about losing someone. It wasn't even about disappointment. It was something deeper. The feeling of being left alone in the middle of a prayer you needed to be answered. You prayed for clarity, but life did not give you answers. You prayed for strength, but you woke up tired again. You prayed for direction, but every door felt closed. And the silence did not make sense. You began to wonder if maybe you did something wrong. Maybe you were not praying correctly. Maybe your faith wasn't strong enough. Maybe you were being punished. But none of that is true. God's silence is not a sign of His absence. It is often the sign that He is doing something deeper than you asked for, something you cannot see yet, something that is growing beneath the surface. Think of a seed beneath the soil. When you plant it, nothing happens to your eyes. The ground looks the same every day. It looks unchanged. But beneath that quiet, something is happening. Roots are forming. Structure is forming. Life is preparing to rise. And if you dig it up too soon to look for progress, you destroy the very thing that was growing. This is how God works in silence. Not loudly, not immediately, but deeply. God is not simply preparing the blessing for you. He is preparing you for the blessing. Because the moment the blessing arrives, your heart needs to be steady enough to hold it. Your spirit needs to be mature enough to sustain it. Your identity needs to be grounded enough not to lose yourself inside it. You are not waiting because nothing is happening. You are waiting because something is being built inside you. There are things you asked God for that require process, not because God is withholding, but because God is aligning your timing, aligning your relationships, aligning your emotional maturity, aligning opportunities, aligning your heart with His will. If He gave you what you prayed for too soon, it would overwhelm you. If He opened the door too early, you would walk through unprepared. If He spoke too quickly, you would not learn how to recognize His voice in the stillness. There is a faith that comes from miracles, but there is a deeper faith that comes from waiting. The kind of faith that says, "I don't see anything yet, but I still believe. I don't hear anything yet, but I still trust. I don't understand yet, but I'm not letting go." There is a holiness in that kind of faith, a strength formed in the quiet, a relationship built in the unseen. When God is silent, He is often closer than ever. He is watching you take steps you do not realize are shaping your spirit. He is watching your endurance deepen, your compassion expand, your patience strengthen, your heart soften. You are not weakening in this silence. You are being refined. You are learning how to stand in faith even when your emotions are tired. You are learning how to trust God even when life is unclear. You are learning how to stay even when you cannot see results. This is what spiritual maturity looks like. Not dramatic, not loud, but steady. Steady like a heartbeat. Steady like breathing. Steady like dawn returning every morning, even after the darkest night. You have survived nights that felt endless. You have walked through days when your heart felt hollow. You have kept going when everything in you wanted to shut down. Do you know how strong you are? Not in the way the world measures strength, but in the way heaven does. You continued to seek God without proof. You continued to pray without answers. You continued to stand when you could have fallen. That is faith, and God has seen every single moment of it. Not one tear was wasted. Not one prayer went unheard. Not one night of confusion was ignored. God has been working all along, just not where your eyes were looking. He has been working in your heart, in your resilience, in your identity, in your capacity to love and endure and hope even when life felt silent. And the time is coming when the silence will break. Not slowly, not subtly, but clearly. You will see why you had to wait. You will see what God was aligning. You will see what God was protecting you from. You will see the blessing that needed preparation. And you will say with full clarity, "Now I understand. God was here all along. This silence is not the end. This silence is the shaping place, the sacred space, the foundation of your next chapter. God is still working, even now, even here, even in this quiet. There are moments when the silence feels like a closed door, when you feel like you are knocking and no one is answering, when you are searching and there is no direction, when you are longing and there is no response. And in that silence, you begin to question yourself. You begin to question your faith. You begin to question God. But the silence is not God abandoning you. The silence is God strengthening you. Because if you only trust God when you see results, then your faith is tied to outcomes. But when you trust God in the quiet, when you trust Him in the waiting, when you trust Him in the unanswered, your faith becomes anchored. It becomes deep. It becomes real. Faith is not proven in the moment of blessing. Faith is proven in the moment of silence. There are places inside you that are being rebuilt right now. Places where the old version of you once lived. Places where fear lived, where doubt lived, where heartbreak lived, where worry lived. God is clearing those rooms, one by one, even if you cannot feel it happening. Healing is not always loud. Restoration is not always visible. Some of the greatest miracles happen quietly. Think of the seed in the soil. Think of the baby forming in the womb. Think of the sun rising before anyone sees the first light. Think of how your heart beats without you hearing it. The deepest works of God are silent, not because they are weak, but because they are sacred. If right now, something in your heart feels heavy, but also strangely calm, like your chest is finally loosening just a little, that is God, not speaking to your ears, but speaking to your spirit. And if while listening, you feel something inside you saying, "Yes, I want to trust again. I want to believe again. I want to rest again," then just whisper, "Amen," and click subscribe so we can walk this journey together, not because of the channel, but as your way of telling God, even in the silence, I choose you. Now breathe. Slow, gentle, unforced. You don't have to rush healing. You don't have to understand everything right now. You don't have to fix the silence. God is already in it. There was a time in your life when you thought you wouldn't make it, a season that felt impossible to survive, a moment that felt too heavy to carry. But look at you now. You're here. Not because everything was easy, not because you had all the answers, but because even when you didn't realize it, God was carrying you. If He carried you then, He will carry you now. Sometimes God is silent because He wants you to learn to recognize His presence, not just His voice. Sometimes God is silent because He is letting your roots grow deeper. Sometimes God is silent because He is teaching you to stand, to breathe, to endure, to trust what you cannot see. He is not late. He is not gone. He is not ignoring you. He is preparing something in the unseen that your eyes cannot understand yet, but your spirit can feel. Say this inside your heart: "Lord, I don't always understand your silence, but I trust that you are working. I trust that your timing is wiser than mine. I trust that your plan is greater than what I can see. Hold my heart steady. Give me the strength to keep believing. Do not let me walk away from what you are preparing for me. Breathe again. Slow, soft, present. There will be a moment, not today maybe, not tomorrow, but one day the silence will break. And when it does, it will not be gentle. It will be clear. It will be unmistakable. It will be God saying, I never left. I was here all along. Every unanswered prayer is not unanswered. It is unfolding. Every closed door is not rejection. It is redirection. Every silent season is not abandonment. It is preparation. You are not waiting for God to move. God is waiting for the right moment to reveal what He has been doing. And you will not miss it. When it arrives, it will fit. It will make sense. It will feel right. And your heart, the one that learned to trust in silence, will be able to hold it without fear. Now rest. Let go of the pressure to figure everything out tonight. You don't need answers to fall asleep. You only need peace. And God is giving you peace now. You are not alone in this silence. God is here. He has always been here. And He is still working. If this brought even a little peace to your heart, comment Amen below. Not for me, not for the algorithm, but as your quiet declaration of trust. Even when I cannot hear you, I know you are near. And if you want to continue healing every night, step by step, click subscribe and stay close. You don't have to walk this journey alone. We are here, and God is here. Good night.